Once you win it, and you've got to go all the way to the end.
Lando into the final corner, his first win of the championship. Lando across the line to win in China.
Because you commit yourself to such a level where there is no compromise. You give everything you have.
The strategy paid off. He had one of the best hits I've ever seen on the medium tires. Nick Bell wins the Monaco Grand Prix.
Nathan, it was the final chicane. Rudy's trying to go for it on the inside. There's still both wheels around it. Banging wheels, old school's gone round.
Oh my word!
And you need more than anything a very clear mind to understand exactly when is the moment to be aggressive, when is the moment to be calculated.
He spun. Of Brendan's spun.
Oh, wing image. Oh, Brendan's out.
He's out of race. Oh my God, he's out of race.
When you are under a lot of pressure, in a critical moment, in a championship or in a particular race, it's the one that can put together the combination between aggressivity and calculating things that will get the best result.
How is it going, everyone? Welcome to what everyone has been waiting for the past, I don't know how many months. It is the Season 6 car reveals for all, I say all 6 divisions. I suppose PC does count in that one. We are going to be running through, of course, all of Division 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and of course, as I said, PC as well. If you guys don't know who I am by now, I'm really surprised because you've barely been on this channel. Of course, it's myself, Jacob. I am joined with quite a few other organisers. One of them, of course, being the head of F1 on PlayStation. It's none other than the Irish Don Egan. How's it going, Gary?
Good evening, yeah, looking forward to this.
I also have the T-Boy himself, Car Mentalist.
Good evening.
I have the Dutch T-Boy of Verstappen.
Good evening.
And of course I have none other than Division 2's champion, the Grumpy One, Mr. Harry Larkin.
Bonsoir.
So as I said, how we're going through this, we're going to go through Division 5 first, then we'll go to Division 4, PC, Division 3, Division 2 and Division 1. We'll also be running through all of the reserves so you guys know who is in what tier. If you haven't seen them already, they are also on the League of Europe Twitter, so check that out if need be. Let's not waste any more time. Gary?
I'm ready.
D5?
Yes, here we go. The best division in all of LOB, of course, and the nicest people in the league. Yep, so here we go now for Division 5. And of course, our graphics guy, Killer Blue, has very kindly done a lot of graphics for you guys after he's all sent in photos for him. So you're going to see them throughout this as we go through the teams. But enough of me talking, here we go through them now. We got starting off with the Williams. We have the return of Ryan Belshaw and a newcomer in Harry F753. Be interesting to see how they get on this season. And then we have again a double return for Seven Dios. I'm sorry, I've definitely pronounced that name wrong. I have been doing that for the last 3 seasons, so it's sort of expected. And DJ Williamson, who are both in the Haas. Very good, solid pairing. Both have a lot of experience in Division 5, so it'll be interesting to see how they get on. And then in the Alfa Romeos we have Riley and Stephen. Riley only joined last season. Of course, Stephen also made a return last season after a couple of seasons out of the league. So be interesting to see how they get on last season, or this season, sorry, after having a bit of a disappointing season, I could say, in Division 5 last season. Keep an eye on them. And then in the AlphaTauris we have the ever-present Jasper and Cloudy. I think these guys have been teammates throughout their time here in LOE, and I think they're going to be a formidable pairing in the AlphaTauri, so it'll be interesting to see how they get on. And then moving on to the Alpines, we have Adri, his return back to the league, and Sir Ibo, who's been here for probably longer than people have been alive, to be honest, and they make a very good team, very solid team, a lot of experience in that team, so it'll be interesting to see how they get on in the Alpine in Division 5. And next up is the Aston Martins of Swip and Flip. They've been absolutely begging for this in the D5 chat, and their wish has come true. So again, I think Flip was quite unhappy to be in Division 5, so I guess he's going to be someone to keep an eye out for the championship, and I guess that makes Aston Martin contenders for the constructors as well, so keep an eye on them as we approach the season. And in the McLaren we have two newbies in Duda Nad and Jed 16. In the McLaren, it'll be interesting to see how these guys get on. They had quite a bit of an up and down pre-season, probably could have done a little bit better than they did, but nonetheless, two new guys to keep an eye out this season, see how they get on. And then in the Ferrari we have Ben Scott and Aleti. Of course, Ben Scott was here with us last season, had quite a solid season in Division 5, and he'd be looking to repeat that again. Aleti has been out for a couple of seasons, but has been in the league before. We all know what he's about, so let's see how he gets on. And then in the Red Bulls we have Joseph and Serial Killer. Both of these guys quite unknown, I guess. They didn't have the greatest pre-seasons, if I remember correctly. I could be wrong there, but nonetheless, in the Red Bulls, and they'll be looking to have a strong season. I think Division 5 is wide open this season. I think anyone can win it, so I wouldn't rule anyone out. And then in the Mercedes, I'm not going to be able to pronounce these names right at all. I do apologise. We have Lars, I'm going to say Lars and Prick J, I'm guessing that's how you say it. I do apologise, I am Irish, English is my first language, but those guys round off the grid for in the Mercedes. Let's see how they get on. And then in the reserve spots we do have Bellin, Emperor as well, both two guys that have been in the league for a very long time, so we know what they're about. We have Jav, of course, the Fernando Alonso fanboy. We have United Bosnia, the man who hasn't stopped going on about that he's no assists, so that's his excuse. And then finishing off the reserves, we have Leslie Twig. Again, new guy to the league, not a lot of information about him, so he'll be one to keep an eye on when he races. But yeah, that rounds off the Division 5 grid. I don't know if you guys have any input you'd like to have, any teams that catch your eye?
I think for me, I fully agree. Division 5 is completely wide open. We've had a bit of a discussion about who we think is going to be champions in each division team-wise. I've definitely got my eye on Ferrari, I think, this season for the championship. Ben Scott and Aledi. They had I know Ben definitely had a very solid pre-season, so that's my bet.
I was just going to say, I think the Haas boys, Svenos Diaz and DJ Williamson. I mean, Svenos was in D4 last season, if I'm not mistaken, unless he was in D5, but towards the top end. And same with DJ Williamson. Both of these guys now in D5 as teammates. I think the Haas and I think it's going to be close between Haas and AlphaTauri. They're my two, I would say, but you can never rule out Adri. That's all I'm going to say. You can never rule out Adri.
Yeah. Verstappen, you got anything you want to like to say?
Yeah, I would like to keep an eye on the duo of Swift and Flip and Aston Martin. I know Flip definitely showed some good pace over the Lobby 6 I was commentating on myself. And Swift seemed very consistent in the race, so I think they are outsiders for a championship battle as well.
Yeah, I would disagree. I would go personally with the Williams and the Aston Martins as well. I think either of those could definitely win the construction. I think at least 3 of those guys out of 4 can fight for the championship. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see how that gets on. But I think now we'll move on to Division 4, and once again we don't have Jordan, so I will be taking you through Division 4. So don't worry boys, after this you won't have to hear my voice for a while. In the Williams we have Slub Khan and Giant Bravery, both quite quick drivers. Slub Khan joined towards the end of the league last season, and I think he won a race at Monza if I'm not mistaken, and had quite a few good races in between that as well. And we had Giant Bravery, who was quite quick in the pre-season races, so definitely a duo to keep an eye on. In the Haas we have TRT, James and Bag of Bones. Bag of Bones has been an ever-present in the league throughout the history of LOE, and TRT James is a new guy to the league, but I think a lot of people out around the league will know him, and he has quite decent pace, so I think that's quite a decent team as well. And then moving on to Alfa Romeo, we have Polypoles and Energetics. And Polypoles again was in Division 4 last season, had quite a decent season, probably not as good as he wanted, given how quick he was. He didn't really convert that pace into wins or anything like that, but he's still a very quick driver, and Energetics as well. From my personal interactions with him in the past, is quite a solid driver, so I think that team is going to be up there for the championship, if I'm totally honest. And then we have the pairing of their team and Alex in the Alpha Tauris. I think these guys have been teammates everywhere they go. I think they've done a lot of F2 together, so we know them from there, and I think their team was racing here last season in Division 4 as well. I think Alex is new to the F1 side of things, so it'll be interesting to see how they get on as a pair. And then moving on to the Alpines of MCR and Major Falcon. Major Falcon in Division 4 last season had a really strong season, especially towards the end. I think he got a win at Russia, if I'm not mistaken, and I think I believe finished fourth or fifth in the championship. So he had quite a solid season, and with a lot of guys getting moved up, I think he's definitely going to be one to keep an eye on. NMCR as well last season in Division 5 was right up there in the championship battle. Didn't get that win, unfortunately for him, but he was always in contention, had a lot of podiums, so that's a very strong team in the Alpine. And then moving on to the Aston Martins, we have TTG Storm and Mr. Wooter. Storm, of course, here last season had quite a disappointing season for himself. I think he had a couple of issues with his wheel and stuff like that, but yeah, he's definitely a strong driver and one to keep an eye on. And Mr. Wooter, I think he's had a 2 or 3 seasons absence from the league. When he was here, he was quite on the pace, matching the guys in his division, so I'm expecting the same from him again, so keep an eye out on them. Moving on to McLaren, this is quite a weird pairing for me, not one that I would consider when I first seen it. It's it is spicy, it's quite interesting. We have, of course, Ivor Brim Mike finally getting his wish into Division 4, so we'll see how he gets on. He's all talk, let's see if he can do the driving on track to back it up. And then we have, of course, Cam K and Dylan McLaren with him as well. Cam K didn't have the strongest of seasons last season after winning, was it Division 4 I want to say he won the season 2 seasons ago, might have been Division 5, I can't remember 100%, but he definitely won a championship, and he struggled last season, so let's see how he gets on with Mike as his teammate. I'm sure he's going to be pulling his hairs out with him as a teammate. But we move on now to the Ferraris of Marty and Alt Maverick, and I think this is quite a good pairing. Marty always has pace, but something always seems to go wrong for him in the race, spins, crashes, whatever it is, so he'll be looking to get rid of them this season. And then Alt Maverick, of course, taking up his first ever win in LOE last week at pre-season at Abu Dhabi, so he'll be hoping to keep that momentum going in throughout the season, so let's see how they get on. And then in the Red Bulls we have, of course, Slayer and McDutchface. Slayer, last season's Division 5 champion, so we all know what he's about. And McDutchface came second, I believe, as well. So the guys battling for the championship last season have now teamed up in Division 4. So that is definitely a strong pairing, considering they finished first and second last season in Division 5. Let's see how they get on. And then rounding off the grid we have Ryan B and Ariel Jordan, teammates from last season as well. Had quite a solid season. I think they came like 4th or 5th in the constructors, so they'll be looking to push up more higher up the grid, and I think they could definitely do it. I think they're one of my favourites for the constructors. But that rounds off the grid for Division 4 and the teams. It's going to go quickly through the reserve list. We have Ariel Passe, who of course been promoted from Division 5. He came 3rd in Division 5 last season, so obviously he missed a couple of pre-season races, that's why he didn't have the full-time seat, so expect him to, when he does race, to be right on the pace. Then we have Sam T as well, was in Division 4 last season, had quite a struggle towards the end, but had a great start, so let's see how he gets on. Ecos Brandon, again, was in Division 4 last season, had a couple of wins. Canada is the one that's most memorable to me, so he'd be looking for a few more of them. Then of course we have Jabo returning. He didn't race last season but was here the season before. Very solid, very quick driver. Keep an eye out on him when he races. Then you have Keith F1, bit of an unknown driver. had quite an up and down pre-season, if I'm not wrong, but nonetheless, on his day, I'm sure he can be right up there. And then Eduk rounds off the reserve list. In Division 3 last season, really struggled. I don't think he'd be against me saying that. And yeah, I think Division 4 is going to be his pace this season. So let's see how he gets on. But that rounds off Division 4. If you guys want to come in and say anything about it.
Yeah, championship predictions again. I'll be the first one to say that.
Yeah.
I think probably out of all of the divisions, I would say this is maybe along with D2, probably the hardest to call, I think, in terms of who's going to be at the front, because it seems like there's not two really strong drivers in one team, maybe apart from Red Bull. So I think maybe Red Bull would be the ones for me to look out for. I think if not Red Bull, then why not throw a wild card on McLaren? Maybe Ivor might get it done this time around.
I tell you what, I might have to disagree. I get the feeling, I get the feeling that Cam K and Mike, they might work quite well together, but I can see maybe, again, you're right, Aiden, it's difficult to call. There isn't like a team that is just sort of shining out on it, but there's one team which I'm quite intrigued with, is the Alfa Romeos, Energetics and Poldapose. Like, racing Energetics before, I know obviously he's turned off all his assists and stuff like that, it's made him a bit slower, but I'm quite intrigued to see how he's doing on this game, because I think in the pre-season races it was really him versus Mike, and then you'd also have Poldapose that was trying to maybe be in contention with those guys when we had the 6 lobbies, so I don't know. If I'm calling anyone, I think Alpha.
I think I personally would have a look at the Mercedes here of Ryan B and Jordan. Ryan B on this day is very quick at sounding, and Jordan, I think he's turned off his full traction control onto medium, if I'm not mistaken, or either medium to no, but I see them maybe as the season goes along as an outsider for Constructors Championship there.
Yeah, I would agree, to be honest. I think the two teams I'm really looking at is Mercedes and McLaren. I think Ivor wants to prove himself. I think Cam K might want to prove himself after last season. So I think those two teams are definitely like the main ones for me. I think as a real underdog, I would go with the Williams of Giant Bravery and some Commas showed great pace last season in Division 5, and Giant Bravery has been lighting up the timing sheets in pre-season at least, so let's see if he can convert that pace into the real season. But I think those three teams would definitely be the ones I'd keep an eye on.
Fair enough. Yeah, no. There is a lot in that Division 4 that is tricky to call, but well, only time will tell once we get through the season. I know we'll find our winner, but we shall see the best of luck for all of those guys in Division 4. But now we move over to the PC side, which of course I'll be taking you guys through. Without further ado, we'll get straight into it. In the Williams, we have got XL Sven and Lucky Finger, a nice all Dutch pairing. In the Haas, we have got an all QVR duo of Sneaky and Drop J. In the Alfa Romeos is an all XL pairing of myself and Velo. In the Alpha Tauris, we have got RJW and Manta, or Vatefield. In the Ferraris, we've got two newbies of Eek W, if I said that right, and Marnix, again, if I said that right. In the Alpine, we have Sniper Owns and NSR Igorb. Again, apologies if I've absolutely butchered your name. In the Aston Martin, we have got another all XL pairing of Kasu and Black Panther. In the McLarens, another all XL pairing of Merckx and Kango Con. So very strong pairing with those two guys. In the Red Bulls, we've got two newbies again of NSR Richards 1. As again, don't know if I've absolutely butchered that name, and a name that quite a lot of people would like, Super Noob. And then the final team in the Mercedes, we have got the Welshman of Ollie and a newbie of F1 Mason 23. Any of you guys that have been watching the PC League, any teams stand out from that?
Can't lie, mate. I've got other things doing on Friday nights.
I'd probably say in a sea of Excel drivers, I've got to look out for that pairing of, I think fairly apt name actually, in Sneaky and Dropia. I think that might be a good pairing. I think as well, just even beyond the pairings, it's nice to see, even if some people are moving away from console, they're moving on to PC and it's still a part of LoE as well, which is great to see. So, yes.
Of course. I also forgot about the reserve boys. So in the reserves we've got LTU, VSR, Jake W, both returning from last season. D Parry 40, Jeffy, again don't know if I butchered that. Podium Cheetah, Mad Chip, and Dello. Few newbies in here, a few returning faces. So I'm quite intrigued, but as you were saying, in a sea of Excel, there's, in all honesty for me, it's going to be, I reckon, a battle between the McLarens, Merckx and KangoCon, and I would say the Hasses as well, Sneaky and Dropshay. I'm trying not to be biased towards myself as much as possible.
I know you want to be.
Well, I mean, first and second last season, both teaming up in the Alphas, like, come on. But yeah, no, in all honesty, Merckx and KangoCon and Sneaky and Dropshay, they're going to be the two teams, possibly with ourselves as well, me and Velo, is where
Sneak
it's going
yourself.
to be tricky.
Sneak yourself in there,
Yeah.
go on, sneak yourself into.
Yeah, of course, I'm winning this. Why am I even complaining? I'm winning this. I don't know why I'm questioning that. I'm winning it. I don't know. But, yeah. Anyone else got any more thoughts on the PC side, or are we just gonna move swiftly on?
It's probably best we move swiftly on, mate. No offense to PC guys, we play on PlayStation. That's why we have more intake on PlayStation, or more knowledge on PlayStation than, of course, you would on the PC.
No, of course. Right, Aiden, you want to take us through D3?
Yeah, sure thing. I think while I'm not personally driving in Division 3 this season, I've managed to worm myself into D3 in every possible way I can, it seems. So I'm in D3 as much as I possibly can in any way apart from driving. So the T-Boy's getting his first big project in D3. But yeah, we'll start off with the Williams guys, and it's the IFR pairing. We've got IFR Noah and IFR Raleigh JT pairing up in the Williams. Noah obviously new to the league, had a pretty solid pre-season, unfortunately compromised by a couple of spins, but when he wasn't spinning he was up at the front of the field in the Lobby 3 races, so he'll be one to look out for. And of course Raleigh as well, maybe didn't quite have the pace last season, but was incredibly consistent. Obviously picked up a couple of wins in the season as well, was in the championship battle right up until the end. So that is a good pairing to look out for. The next pairing we've got in the Haas cars, we've got Rakurik and we've got Ecos Tiago. I think that's how you pronounce it. I'm doing a Gary and butchering everyone's names, but apologies there. Obviously Rakurik, a long-standing part of LoE. He's turned, I think, if I'm not mistaken, he's turned a few assists off, which is why he has dropped down, unfortunately, from Division 2 into Division 3. But expect Rakurik, as he always does, to get used to those assist changes fairly quickly. He'll probably jump right to the front of the field. And Tiago as well, new to the league. Be interested to see what he can do. He, along with a couple of Ecos guys in this league as well, new to the division. So interested to see what the Haas pairing can do. The Alfa Romeo pairing, definitely an interesting one, and one to watch for maybe not the most promising reasons, but we've got Peter Gillis, formerly known as TTG Damon, and we've got Ramus de Jesus, formerly known as Ram. Obviously Ram moving up from Division 4. Division 4 last season for him wasn't as strong as he would have liked. He was tipped to be one of the championship front runners, and it just never really materialised, but he's found a lot of pace in the off-season. I don't think we can say really enough about Damon. He's had Yeah, obviously my teammate last season had a fairly horrendous Division 3 season by his own admission as well, so he's looking to score more than 4 points, I would say, this season. I think that's his goal. So we'll wait and see what he can do, but he's got the pace when he needs it, so we'll wait and see what they can do. The next pairing are the AlphaTauri pairing, so we've got another Ecos driver in Ecos Mats, formerly known as Timat, and he will be pairing up with Brent 038 in the AlphaTauri. Of course, Timat's in Division 3 last season as well, ran alongside RJGW in the Alfa Romeo last season. Timat didn't really have the best start to seasons, but did start to pick up his pace a little bit towards the end, was within the top 10 on a few occasions as well, so we'll see if he can build on some of that momentum. Brent as well, fairly unknown entity in Eloise, we'll see what he can do in the AlphaTauri. Moving on to the Ferrari pairing, this is another pairing that could be right at the front for the manufacturers this season. We've got XL Tin Can, of course he's been in LOE for a long time, and he is joined by Luke 05, who was in Division 3 last season. Luke 05 took over from Miami in the Racing Point at the end of last season when Miami left the league, and Luke 05 did a pretty solid job, I would say. I think he came in and, well, obviously didn't score as many points as Miami did, he still did a solid job and was running in the top 10 on multiple occasions. Tin Can, obviously Division 3 champion from a few seasons ago, looking to try and emulate that success that he hasn't really been able to reach since then, so we'll see whether he can get back to the front of the field. The next team up are the Alpine pairing, and that is Carwin Rob and TRT Trench. So Carwin Rob, he's up into Lobby 3, he was running, I believe, in Lobby 4 for the majority of the pre-season races. Trench as well, staying in Lobby 3. He was, I believe, under a different team last season, if I'm not mistaken. He's now under TRT. Now that would be an interesting pairing to see as well. Carwin Rob, fairly unknown. He has had pretty solid pace in the pre-season races as well. He's had solid pace throughout all of those, and the social races as well, so that will be maybe a dark horse team to look out for. Next pairing is the Aston Martin pairing, and I think probably the weirdest pairing that we are going to see across pretty much all of the divisions, I would say. We've got QVR Chill pairing up with Funky Chicken from TCG, two of the most opposite people I think you could have in a league. Funky Chicken, obviously, incredibly nice and polite. Chill is just chill. We know how Chill is, so that would be a fun pairing. That would definitely be a spicy pairing, I think. We'll hope that. Well, we'll hope the Funky Chicken converts to Chill, not the other way around, but we'll wait and see. These two, obviously, they've got really, really good speed. Chill's been at the front of the pre-season races. Didn't have the best of personal seasons last season, but he did win the manufacturers last time around with the help of Old School. So he knows how to win the manufacturers, and Funky Chicken as well was new to the league midway through last season and came in and scored decent points right off the bat in Division 3, so he'll be looking to continue that momentum. On to the next pairing, and that is the McLaren pairing, and we've got two drivers that are fairly unknown to the league as well. Darry, TH03 in the McLaren, he is pairing up with Black Poma in the McLaren this season. Black Poma had pretty solid pre-season races, so did Darry as well. Darry was a reserve driver for Division 3 last season, so he's got his first full-time seat, if I'm not mistaken. And he had, I think he had 2 or 3 pre-season races last season and scored in the top 10 in the majority of them, so it'll be good to see what he can do over the length of a full season. Same with Black Poma as well. Next up are the Red Bull pairing, and it's Division 4 all over again. We've got, excuse me, we've got Forza Brendan and Calvin pairing up once again. Of course, these two Division 4 manufacturers champions last season, and Forza Brendan Division 4 drivers champion last season. They've teamed up for the second season in a row in a Red Bull this time around, so it'll be interesting to see whether they can get through a season without crashing into one another. And or not, I mean, that might spice up the season just a little bit more, but Brendan's had a really good pre-season as well. He's been incredibly consistent. Calvin, unfortunately, we haven't really seen anything from him so far, but you can never really count Calvin out. He was the best qualified Division 4 last season, so he's definitely got some raw speed. And the final team in Division 3, we've got fellow Ward, J. Cole. He is in the Mercedes, and he is teaming up with Harry Noir, who has found some pace finally on this game, which is great to see. He's going up rather than down division, so he's up into Division 3 alongside J. Cole in the Mercedes, and that is another team that we've got to look out for in the Manufacturers Championship. And that's all of the full-time drivers. We're just running quickly through the reserve drivers as well. First reserve is Ben Gallagher. He's known mainly from ACC side of things. He's taken a year out of racing on the F1 games. He's back this time around, and it's the first time he's racing in LOE on the F1 side, so it'll be interesting to see what he can do. JSC, of course, well known in this league. He's reserved once again in Division 3, along with YHYY, another staple of the league, as well as B Morgan as well. All three of those drivers have been in League of Europe for a long time, so they'll be fairly reliable reserves. And we've got two newcomers in Ecos Jamie and LGN Cobalt, who will be taking up the final two reserve spots in Division 3. So that's the run through for Division 3 for everyone. Has anyone got their predictions for the championship?
Red Bull. Simple as that. I'm backing my man. I back these. I have to back Forza Brennan. It's hard for me not to have to back the fellow Irishman. I'm quite sad actually in a way that I'm not commentating D3 because I actually liked or enjoyed seeing the battle these two had last season, and I'm sure it's going to continue again this season. But I think Red Bull and Mercedes are definitely my two picks, and then maybe Aston Martin will be a third pick that I'd go for. I think those three teams have the most balance, and I think that they have their teammates will push each other all the way throughout the season. So yeah, I think those three, and I think Red Bull to nick it at the end. If Calvin can find his groove on the game, I think it's easy for them.
I mean, I don't want to be biased again.
Here we go.
No, I'm glad that Harry's finally found some pace. So that's always a good thing. Now that he's finally found some pace, I'm hoping that me and him can try and at least try and get the constructors for this one. However, you mentioned the Red Bulls, fair enough. Forza Brennan and Calvin. Forza Brennan looks really good in pre-season. Calvin, I haven't seen too much of him from D4 last season. I mean, arguably, people would say he might have even been mid to top of D3, so again, quite interesting. Funky Chicken and Chill, yeah. Again, Funky Chicken's impressing. It has been impressing as well towards the end of last season. Chill is just chill. He somehow manages to worm his way in, getting not only one but two constructors, one from me, one from Mark. So I'm sure Funky Chicken's going to have a bit of a mission trying to carry him for a third time. And then there's one more team of the Ferraris, Tin Can and Luke. Now, Tin Can, of course, being the Division 3 champion in Season 3, and yeah, I mean, I'm quite surprised that Gary didn't actually mention him as well. Like, he's been pretty good in these pre-season races. So
he's washed, mate. He's washed.
Fair enough. I mean, I didn't say it. Trust me. It's your fellow XL member, so not me. But yeah, no, I don't know. Again, there's so many people in here that could be impressive. There's people that haven't raced yet that they could be at the top and we just don't know about it. So I don't know. I feel like it's going to be a nice spicy battle throughout the season.
I think personally, one that hasn't been mentioned yet is the duo in the Williams, which is IFR Noah and IFR Rally. Rally towards the top of D3 last season, very consistent. And then Noah can be fairly quick. I haven't seen too much of him, but I think they're outsiders to do well in D3 as well.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth actually. I was going to say Williams as well. I think Raleigh maybe doesn't quite have the raw speed, but we've already seen it in the pre-season races that they've been races of attrition so far. If there's anyone you can count on to finish a race, I think it's Raleigh. And I know it's got the speed as well, when maybe the attrition doesn't necessarily come into it. And I think my bold prediction is that Alfa Romeo are not going to be last in the manufacturers.
Impossible. Impossible.
They're going to kill me up. They're going to absolutely murder me. But yeah, I think it's now time to hand over to Larkin for Division 2.
Okay, Division 2, best division. Starting with the Williams pairing, we have QVR Packer and QVR Cohen. Packer was the good third wheel in a title battle in D2 last season. Cohen was in D1, where he usually is, always been pretty consistent up there. I know he probably thinks he should be up there this time, but he's got to show that on the track, and I think they'll be both near the top this season. Moving on to the half pair, we have one of D3's top performers from last season in Rudy, and we have a new joiner to the league in Ishida. I don't know too much about Ishida, but he looked pretty quick in pre-season. It's quite hard to tell when half the cars are in the wall, but he did look pretty good. The Alfa Romeo pair for this season, we have the time trial sweat of XLTV, and he is joined by his fellow Dutch, I think, player of TTG Knuth, who, judging from Twitter, is meant to be pretty quick. I know he struggled a bit during pre-season, that's why he's ended up in D2. But again, they're another team that I'm sure will be there or thereabouts come the end of the season. The AlphaTauri team for the season ahead is Peter Doorbell and CPI Marcel. Peter was alright in D3 last season, I think. On paper, he's probably one of the weaker ones in his D2 lineup, but I'm sure he can prove me wrong. CPI Marcel, new joiner, don't have too much to say about him. At least he's in the league. The Alpine pair, we have QVR McDickus and QVR Cortez, so a fully Portuguese pair there.
Larkin's given up at this point, I swear to God.
I was just doing my job. I'm just here so I don't get fined. Yeah, Portuguese pair, Cortez is meant to be rapid, from what I hear. Maledictus has probably been blessed with the worst luck of any driver in LOE over the last couple of seasons. Fingers crossed it carries on, I mean, goes away. But yeah, I'm sure they'll do well. Aston Martin pair, Gary, not very good. Nico, probably going to carry on for most of the season. Gary's someone who often shows good pace in practice. You want him to be up there, he talks a good game. Hasn't tended to show it in the last year or so.
Over 2.1.
Yeah, over 2.0.
Whoa. We're not going that far, boys, I refuse.
You're Irish, he's Welsh.
Okay, just move on to the next team, mate. Just go on, will you, please? Fox.
Okay, McLaren. Carmentalist and Nolan. Carmentalist looks quite good on this game, so I'm sure he thinks he'll do quite well. Nolan is Nolan, so I don't think we ever really know what we're going to get with him. He was not very good in D2 last season. He does seem a little bit better on this game though, so fingers crossed for him. Ferrari pair, we have the Scream. He was in D3 last season, joined some point during the season and looked pretty good. That's how he's ended up in D2. And we have Ariel Assassin, who was a D2 reserve, I believe, last season. He did very well when he did race. He had some really good qualifying, some really good races, and they're a very solid team. In the Red Bulls, we have last season's D3 champion in Old School 3000 and Mr. Consistent of XL Zuidema. They are clearly going to be hoping that the Wi-Fi in the retirement home holds up for both of them so they can race every Saturday. Old School, I'm sure will enjoy chatting. A much better game on Discord than what he does on track, but that's just what he does, isn't it? And then finally, it's this year's Constructors Champions of XL Larkin and Killer 295. And I don't think anybody would doubt that at all. The reserves for this season, we have Matt Tibos. Again, he was a D2 reserve last season as well, I think. Judging on pre-season, he spent more time facing in the wrong direction than what he has going forwards. He'll be hoping the performance patch makes things a little bit easier for him. We have Ariel Mark, who's done a bit of a Undertaker / Tyson Fury return to the league after the original placements. We have XL Hardy, who was good on the last game, hasn't driven too much on this game, and is subsequently looking pretty rubbish.
Ain't holding back.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get to the end of it. TTG Slash, he's pretty good, isn't he? We like Slash. Who's next? Caesar. Haven't seen him in pre-season because he's moved country. He was good in D3. And Ewan Bakker, who I believe was D1 last season, again wasn't particularly brilliant, and has ended up here. But again, that happens to the best of us, so he might win the title this season.
Oh my god.
Hopefully I can now stop talking and hand over to other people to give their predictions for this season. Off you go, lads.
Thank you, lad. That's too much. Oh my god. See, this is what happens, boys, when you become an org. Oh, that's... You give up on... Like, Larkin's literally dead. Yeah, before I go into my picks, I want to just call out Old School 3000 here for picking the Red Bull. This man just purely picked the Red Bull because I wanted it. And between him and Zoidema, who I may add, they were ex-orgs, they're under the impression that if you pick a car that you don't want, you're more likely to get another car, without knowing that Old School won the championship and gets priority. So they're just like so beyond stupid that they picked the Red Bull. They don't even want the Red Bull. They have the Red Bull. So enjoy it, boys. I hope it makes you happy. But yeah, that's my rant over on my car. Constructors. Geez, where do I begin? Williams definitely can be up there with Packer and Cohen. If Packer can stop getting those pens that cost him race wins, he can be right up there. And Cohen, like Larkin said, thinks he's in D1 but isn't good enough for D1, so he's in D2. Be interested to see how he gets on. And I would also say I don't want to say Mercedes after Larkin's what Larkin said about me. Yeah, I said okay. I'm gonna say no, I'm not gonna say. I'm gonna say yeah. Okay, Mercedes it is then, I guess. Yeah, Larkin of course D2 champ last season. Don't need to say anything more about that. And then Killer Blue, of course, he won a race last season in D2 and finished 4th in the standings, if I'm not mistaken. So obviously he knows how to drive the car in a straight line on like half this grid. But yeah, I think that would be the two main teams I would go for this season.
It's been a roast D2 session so far, hasn't it? Blimey.
Larkin has triggered me. Larkin's set me off now, so like we're done. He set me off.
Oh god. I think I agree with you on the Williams side of things. Definitely, I think I could go in and have a great opportunity of being right at the front of the field. I refuse to say Aston Martin. I will not fuel the ego.
That's why I was going to pick myself, but then I was going to pick myself, but people said I have an ego, so that's why I didn't do it.
So I'm struggling for the other pick between Alpine and Alfa Romeo. I think if TDP kind of had the same issue in some circumstances as Packer, in that he could have a great race, and then penalties would just kind of take away a good result from him. So I think if TDP can resolve that, then I think he'll be right up there. And who knows, has got solid speed anyway, so he should be right up there as well. And then the same with Alpine. Cortez has been rapid in pre-season, in the social races as well. And then Maledictus, he's got good speed on this game. He's definitely got more speed than we've seen in previous seasons. And hopefully, if his luck returns, he should be a solid point scorer. So those are my three picks that I'm definitely keeping my eye on.
Oh, I cannot believe I'm gonna do this. The Aston Martins, man.
Yes, this man's got common sense.
I can't believe I'm doing this, but Gary, I don't want to feel this.
Feed me.
I'm seething at saying this, but I'm not gonna lie. Gary's looked pretty good on this game. I'm not gonna lie. Packer and Cohen as well. Again, hard to look past both of those Williams. It's hard to look past Mercedes, Larkin and Killer. I'll tell you what, I'm very, very intrigued with Old School and Zoidema. Like, that's the team that's gonna be either a very good team or a flop of a team. And I'm hoping it's gonna be the earlier, but again, it's gonna go one or the other for the both of those guys. But yeah, if I'm going honest, if I'm going top three picks, Mercedes, Aston Martin, Williams. I can't believe I'm doing it, but I have to.
Cheers, man.
It's hard to
Cheers.
pass Gary.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. Can I just say one thing on the Red Bull? I think they have a combined age of like 63. So, I just want to put that out there. It's like, that's mad. So they're old. So
they're the oldest duo, I say, in the league.
Yeah, 100%.
Well, as you've just pointed out the oldest duo, I'm gonna go for a very much younger duo. One to look out for is Alpine, Maledictus and Cortez. I think more combined age of about 35, so significant difference there. So they're one to look out for. I'll mention Aston Martin, but just because Nico is there, don't want to give any credit to Garrett. And just for the outsiders, yeah, the Ariel team of Carmentelis and Nolan McLarens, they could have outside shots. Carmentelis is obviously very consistent usually, and Nolan, you never know what you're going to get with him. On the right track, he's up there with a little bit of an attitude sometimes, so we'll have to see how he goes. That would be my picks, along with yeah, you've already mentioned a lot of times with Williams, just very strong as well. So it'd be between those teams, I think.
Division 1!
Yes. Let the professionals take it over now. Indeed. I'll start you off with the Williams team, and here we have Izzat Kush and Ariel Wouter. Wouter, a very consistent driver, seems to have a bit more pace on this game than last, so let's see how he performs. Izzat, a new driver for the league from Singapore, I believe, so let's hope his connection holds up fine enough.
Better than Nathan's.
Yeah,
I mean,
anything's better than Nathan's.
That's indeed not too hard. Yeah, he looked quite impressive in the pre-season races, I think in podium at China, and he looked on pace as well at Abu Dhabi, so let's see how they perform. Onto the Haas team, I think personally the best team in the league. QVR Campbell and QVR Verstappen. Oh hey, wait, that's me? We'll have a look how we perform. I hope we can do well. The next team we have in the Alfa Romeo, the ever so quality strong performers, Arcola puts out. And then we have Alpha Trix, the Season 3 champion, joining him in the Alfa Romeo. I think a very strong team. Alpha Trix usually a little bit less on form last season. I think he finished about 7th or 8th in the championship. So he'll be looking to bounce back, I reckon. And did look strong in Abu Dhabi as well. Next up is the Alpha Tauri team. Both German drivers, NSX Alba and QVR Yul Melmats. Alba looked to be one of the fastest drivers out there on the game, I think. Putting it on pole in Abu Dhabi and getting second place in the race. Yul Melmats always looking quite quick, so we'll see how he does. I don't think he's attended one pre-season race in Abu Dhabi. China, he looked on pace but had a spin and didn't really make it through. Onto the Ferraris, we have Justus Sass and we have ERT Liam. ERT Liam is a new driver to the league. He looks very impressive in pre-season and somewhat low lobby, so we have to, we've decided to put him in the first division and we'll see how he fares along Justus Sass. Always up there. I think he won the race in Belgium last season. So and again in Abu Dhabi he won the race. So he's looking very impressive so far, and not a team to count out at all. Next up is a very legendary duo and reunited after a couple seasons not in the league. Cantera is back in the Alpine. Alongside, of course, Jum, so we'll be seeing some slipstreaming there. Jum, not too great of a season last season in D2, but he's looking very quick again on this game. Always looks very quick, so let's just hope we can keep it out of the wall for him. Then we have the Aston Martins of Ariel Nathan and Excel Neo. Nathan seems to be struggling a little bit on this game, but I think once the season comes he'll be picking it up quite a bit. Let's hope his connection does as well as previously mentioned. Neo, very consistent driver always, and just expecting to see him in the points regularly. And yeah, a very decent duo, I'd say. Then onto the McLarens, we have M Short 17, the runner-up of last season, challenging Montana, but couldn't fare against the NSX driver. Alongside him is VRT Daniel, who won the opening race last season in Austria. Again, a very strong pairing there in the McLarens, and expect to see them at the front of the pack as well. Then we have an XL duo in the Red Bull, and this is a bit of a controversial one, you may say. We have XL Dylan and XL Rocco, and Dylan has been begging for the seat to be one, so we finally decided to give him and see how fair he'll bottle in this division. And then next to him obviously is Rocco. Always seems to keep it out of trouble, especially towards the latter end of the season, last season. So I think he'll put in some decent and consistent results. And then finally we have the Mercedes duo, and this is a very strong pairing, you could say. The three-time champion NSX Montana has his teammate NSX Connor joining him in the Mercedes. And obviously this is going to be one of the strongest pairings on the grid. Let's see if Montana can dominate like he has in previous seasons, or that will be challengers in the rest of the grids. Onto the reserves, that was the full-time grid. We have NSX Vaporizer. So it's kind of showing up, not really a good track record of finishing races, I'd say, but we'll see if that can improve for him. Then we have NSX Fuelbream. I think the same kind of goes for him, but I think he got second place last season somewhere in Bahrain, I believe, so he is definitely an outsider when he turns up. Then we have a couple new drivers of IFR Jensen, and Jensen is looking to struggle a little bit, but I think when he turns up and when he gets the pace right, he can be up there. Leonard, don't know too much about him, but he seems on pace as well, so we'll have to see about him. Then we have last season's D2 champion, oh wait, we have Matthew 40, decided to bottle it last minute in Brazil. If you want to watch that back, gladly do so for his pleasure. And then as well, rounding off the reserves, we have IFR Tom Robbo. Don't know too much about him, but let's see how he fares as well. Yeah, for my predictions for the season, I think the Mercedes duo is not one to look past. I'm going to mention the AlphaTauri duo as well, of NSX Alba and Bjorn Melmatt. And I think the McLaren duo of M Short and Daniel are going to be up there as well.
I'd probably agree with you with Montana. If you're teammates with Montana, I think you automatically have a 60% chance of winning the Constructors, I think. So I think Mercedes are definitely going to be one of the best teams, if not the best team, come the end of the season. I also agree with McLaren. Of course, VRT M Short now pushed Montana all the way to the end, just fell short towards the last couple of races, so he'll be looking to repeat that charge and maybe further on this season. And of course he's teaming up with his VRT teammate Daniel, who, like you said, won a race last season at Austria and overall was quite pacey. Not as quick on this game, I don't think, at the moment at least, so it'll be interesting to see if he can pick it up. But I think those two teams, and I would also say the AlphaTauri, like you said, NSX Alba seems very quick, and Jules Melmatt on his day can do quite a good job as well. And then I'd have, as an underdog, I would go with the Haas duo of yourself and Campbell. I think you guys are basically going to be picking up if shenanigans go down, if there's a couple of crashes at the front, you guys will be picking up those pieces, getting a podium or two, maybe even a win. And at your good tracks, I would expect you guys to be competing for the wins as well. So yeah, I think D1 might have the closest Constructors fight this season, and yeah, I think it's going to be extremely tight throughout all the divs as well, to be honest, but especially Division 1.
Yeah, I agree with that as well. I think I was going to mention about Haas. I think obviously incredibly consistent. You both have pretty strong pre-seasons as well. And I thought I'd just return the favour of you predicting me for a good season in Division 2, so there you go. I think as well, just a word on how we almost completely ruined some of the other divisions with where we were placing Liam. I think we were placing Liam in lobby 4.
He was in lobby 4 at one point. Yeah, he was. Yeah.
And now he's in Division 1. So I mean, thank God we spotted that in time, because my word, that is a jump in performance compared to where we thought he was going to be. So I'll be interested to see how he performs, I think, as well, and Dylan as well. I think it'll be interesting to see how Dylan gets on in Division 1, whether he bottles more or less than he did in Division 2. That'll be good to see. I mean, he's been frothing at the mouth for this opportunity, so you can't waste it now.
Yeah, no, I'd definitely say Division 1, like you were saying, it's hard to look past those two Mercedes boys of Montana and Connor, but yeah, the same with M Short and VRT Daniel, the VRT boys versus NSX. I feel like it's going to be that battle once again. I would definitely say Justice Sass and Liam as well. Like, Justice Sass in the pre-season's been very impressive, same with obviously Alba, but Justice Sass for me, he's been up there even since last season. He's been up with the likes of M Short and Montana, and I feel like they could play a bit more of a part in this championship this season with those two, with M Short and Montana, and obviously with Daniel and Connor. And yeah, if I'm going anyone as an underdog, again, I'd probably say both Lewis and Verstappen. Like, I don't think there's any way of sort of also looking past those QVR boys. You know, Verstappen in pre-season. Again, don't want to feed your ego, but did look pretty good in both pre-season races. Campbell, I know he has a bit more pace in him in the pre-seasons. Obviously, third at Abu Dhabi, there's not much more he could have done with that, but. Yeah, I feel like Campbell does have quite a bit of pace in him over this season. I feel like if he keeps it nice and consistent, I think you two are going to be up there with those guys and trying to fight for that constructors as well.
Well, we'd hope so, but yeah, don't go into the egos too much. Thank you very much.
Well, yeah, I think that's everything now, boys. I think we are finally done. I just want to shout out to all the drivers that actually participated in pre-season, are still here, that haven't been kicked by Larkin yet. We appreciate it, and of course to the graphic guys of Killer and Packer, obviously all through the season so far, and for this podcast as well, they've given us great graphics, so fair play to them. But other than that, boys, I think we're just ready to get on the track. Hopefully this will come out, well, I don't know, well, you won't know when this will come out, but it'll be out when it's out. So yeah, we'll do our best. But yeah, I think that's it. Unless anyone else has anything to say. Nope.
I was just going to say, stop asking about the car picks. Like, we've done it now. Please shut up.
Leave us alone. Look at Larkin. Larkin's a broken man. Just leave us alone now for a little while.
I'd like to apologise for my earlier comment and wish Foxstorm the best of luck for his wedding. Enjoy.
Marcus had a long day.
Okay.
Call it, Jack.
Yeah, I think it's best that we kind of just end that there then, boys. Thank you everybody for watching the Carver Hill podcast. Make sure you guys check out Division 1, 3 and 4, 6:30 PM UK time or British Standard Time, and Division 2 and Division 5 at 8:10 PM. Thanks to everyone for watching, and we'll catch you guys for the first race around the Bahrain International Circuit.